everybody. Thanks for tuning in to my Facebook recap where we made our little box of tags. I made this little box with the cute little magnet closure and 4 tags to slide inside. Included in this workshop was the pattern for the box, and you can download that in the description below. I'll give you a minute or two to come in. When you come in, say hi. Tell me where you're from. Leave a comment. That'll help me out. Appreciate you guys showing up. Let me just show you what we're going to do tonight. So we've got these adorable tags. We're going to use lots of punches. I have a fun new pattern for you that you'll be able to download after this workshop. So as you're coming in, if you want to just let me know you're here. Hey, Kathy, nice to see you. We're going to start in just 1 minute. All right. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know it's been 2 weeks since I've been on here, so glad to get back to our weekly get-togethers, at least for the next few weeks. Christmas kindly showed up on a Friday, so I think we can actually squeeze everything in this month. I'm excited. All right. So you can see below in the description on this video that if you would like to get the make and take kits to make all this stuff, you just need to place a $35 order before December 9th. And the links are all below to shop in my store and the hostess code to let me know that you would like to get a make and take kit. So you'll get the tags all punched out, the little bonus tags that go on them. Hi, Pat. Nice to see you. You'll get the ribbon, and you'll also get the die cuts and a big enough piece of cardstock to make the box. All right. Oh, thanks for sharing, Kathy. That really helps me out a bunch. I really greatly appreciate that. All right. So tonight we are going to use the Joyful Holly stamp set, and we're also just going to use the 2 from the Banner Year stamp set. Let me grab those 2 just so you can see. And then, of course, we have the dies and the Sending Joy from the Peace and, I'll start with that one, from Peace and Joy. So this is a bundle that's got dies, hi Sue, that cut out the words. And then Banner Year, I just needed a 2 for the tags. And then Joyful Holly has the holly stamps that we're using. And then we're also going to punch up the front of the box with these cute all the trimmings embellishments, which coordinate with the all the trimmings ribbon that we're going to use. And for the one we're going to make tonight, we're actually going to use both the poppy and the olive. So I think it's going to be really adorable. And I'm just thinking this makes a great gift for just that like special someone. Hi, Jenny. It makes a great gift. I'm thinking like the woman at the desk at my gym that always checks us in and is so sweet to us all the time. I'm thinking if you have a favorite, grocery store clerk or something like that. I'm also thinking you can just give this to a friend. It's a busy holiday season. It's a nutty year. Everybody's looking for anything to save them a little bit of time. And now you could probably fit 6 tags in this box based on the dimensions. And of course you can change it up however you want to. But we're just going to make 4 tonight. These do have a little puff to them, but you could definitely fit a couple of more in there. So what you're going to find is tomorrow, I already drafted the post. I'm just going to copy this video into the post and then publish it tonight before I go to bed. I've also made a PDF that you can download, and that PDF includes this pattern. So this is how the box goes together. The red is what you're going to eliminate once you do all the scoring, which is what all the dashed lines are. So you're going to score everywhere that it has a dashed line, and then where the red sections are, we're going to cut those away. We're going to do that together in just a minute, but I just want to kind of explain to you what you're going to get. So you're going to want to go over to my blog. If you're staying up late tonight in like probably a couple hours, because I have to wait for the video to upload to YouTube. So it'll take a couple hours, but then it'll be up on my blog first thing tomorrow morning for sure. And then you can download the inspiration sheet. You'll have the pattern. You'll have all the supplies that you need to make this, and you'll be good to go. All right, so thanks everybody for saying hi. I really appreciate people that are sharing this to Facebook. That helps my business, and in turn gives me a little bit more so I can share a little bit more with you. Going into December and on to the new year, we're definitely going to get together on Wednesday evenings. And I have lots of other fun new stuff in store for you. And a big shout out, thanks to everybody who supported my Black Friday special. I had a bundle of classes that was on a really amazing sale, and I really appreciate everybody that jumped on that special. Stay tuned for some more fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. All right, so to make this project, the tags and the box all together, you just need one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So we're going to take care of both cutting that and scoring it. So that means that you could really use this pattern and start with any color cardstock that you want. I mean, if you're going to go for, kind of what I did, I would recommend some neutral, but you could do, as much as dark as like a smoky slate. Hi, Michelle. And you could go as light as, you could do Whisper White if you want to. All right. Trying to think, which way where's that? Did I just cover up the pattern or, I set it over here. Oh, it's the 6 side. Okay. So it's the 6 side that I'm going to cut in here. So I'm going to go across to 6. Oh, you guys can't see that. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to go all the way across to 6 inches here and cut this. And that will give me plenty over here left over for the tags. And then I'm going to do 6 3/4, and I don't feel like doing the math to figure out 8.5 minus that. Oh, I'm going to hold this up. I don't want to shake the camera so much. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, let me bring this down so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. All right, so now, okay, these out of the way. I'm going to get there. All right, so 6 3/4. All right, so since this is kind of a one-sided conversation, let me tell you a little bit about my Thanksgiving, and you guys can chime in the comments and let me know what you guys did. We had my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law and my father over for an outdoor Thanksgiving. One of the advantages of living here in Florida is that works out really well, and it was great. It was fun to have a holiday in our new home, and everybody seemed to have a good time. We did it at lunchtime to make sure that it would be warm enough for everybody, and it worked out great. All right, so I measured this to 4 1/4, and now I'm going to make the tags 2 inches each. So I just cut this down to 8, so now I can just go to the 6, the 4, and the 2 and end up with all the tags that I need. And then I'm done with my trimmer, and we'll move on to scoring, stamping, and cutting. But not with the trimmer, with scissors. There we go. All right. So these two are scrap. Toss those. All right. Here we go. All right, we're finished with that. Now we're going to bring in the scoring tool. So there's different opinions on scoring this first. What happens is, I don't even know if you can see, like on this corner here, it does skip a little bit. Not really too much though, but you do have to consider that. So if that bugs you that it's going to skip a little bit, then perhaps you don't want to do the scoring. You want to do the stamping first. But the other thing about the way that I stamped this is I left the top with no stamping on it. So if you're going to stamp first of all, you got to remember this is going to come up and over the top, this flap that keeps it closed. So that means that it needs to be a stamp that doesn't, what's the right way to say this? So all the holly's going this way. If I flipped this over, the holly would be upside down. So it needs to be a pattern that will work for both directions and it'll look good. That's one thing about stamping the whole piece of paper or piece of cardstock for the box before you score. And the other thing to consider is that I don't really think it does a lot of skipping if you're just careful with your scoring. So we are going to score according to the pattern that I created. So I'm going to grab it so I can see it. And this is the 6 3/4 side, and this is the 6 side. So I'm going to do the 6 inch side first. So we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. And remember, you're going to be able to download this pattern. So it's not like super important that you write all this down. Just follow along. 2 3/4, 3 1/4, and 5 1/2. Then we're going to turn it to the other side, and on the shorter side here, we're going to score it at 1 inch, 1.5 inches. So this becomes the top right here. And then we're going, what I like to do is just come down here, and I know I'm scoring it at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch again, which ends up being 6 1/4 and 5 3/4. But I just find it easier to do the two ends. That's just me. All right, so now we're done with scoring. Now we can stamp. So I don't want to burnish the lines first. I want to stamp first. Just grabbing some grid paper for myself so I can do this. All right, so did anybody chime in about Thanksgiving? Not yet. All right, let me know how it was. I'd love to hear, because I feel like I'm with you guys all the time. Every week we get together. So Thanksgiving was a lot of fun. Yesterday was fun. I got to place my pre-order in the upcoming occasion. Well, I'm calling it the Occasions catalog. The next catalog for Stampin' Up! It's now called the January to June mini catalog, which I find a mouthful, but we're just going to call it the next catalog for now. I'm going to see if I can make this work, because I need a little bit of lift on here. And yeah, that'll work. Okay, so first we're going to do the holly. And I want to get the box done, and then I'm going to come back and stamp the tags. Usually I like to just do all my stamping, but for this project, I just think it's easier to do it this way. All right, so I'm going to put this here. Yes, I could put something down if I needed to, but what I found when I was doing this as a sample is if I just, Jenny, you stayed put, oh, no trip to, oh, wow, you didn't go to Virginia. Well, that's a bummer. I'm sure your dad was bummed he didn't get to see you, but I totally get it. All right, I got to think about this, because one of these sides is going to show. So we're just going to use 2 sheets. All right. We'll tuck that under there so I have that side. And then this will mask. Got it. Okay. I've already inked this up, but I'm just going to make sure. All right. And now I'm just going to get my holly to kind of, I don't want to like, I want it to be somewhat random, but I want it to cover. I also found that it was easier to use one of the hollies and not both. They're not designed to like fit together super well, unless you're making like a swag. What's the term for it? You know, like if, or there's a word for it. It's just escaping me. It's great if you're making it look like a string or you want to make a wreath of it, but it's not made to randomly stamp around a small space. I think this one might be a little, yeah, not too bad. A little shadow, but we're going to go with it because we're almost done. Filling in the holly, that is. All right, and you're going to go like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. Hope you are too. We're not going to use, there is a fill stamp that comes in this set, and I'm not going to use that tonight, but you definitely could. We're just going to go with it just like this. Now I'm going to add the poppy holly berries. So what I do is I go back and put the holly, or the poppy embellishments, these guys, on what ultimately becomes the front of the box. But for now, I'm going to go through and make sure all of my berries are filled in, even though some of these are going to disappear when the box gets all folded up. So bear with me. I don't always get these 100% right, but it's close. Close enough for stamping. And then we're just going to get that one. I see a 3 and a 1. All right. I did a bunch of Netflix catching up over the holiday as well. I can highly recommend, let's see, The Queen's Gambit. That was really good. I can definitely recommend, let's see, I'm in the middle of season 4 of The Crown. I had watched season 1 and 2 when it first came out, and then that one just kind of fell off my radar. And now that I'm almost out of things to watch, it has come back on. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. What else? This isn't too bad for me. I'm actually now, oh, see, I shouldn't have spoke. I thought about that. The minute I said it, I was like, don't jinx it. Gosh darn it. All right, this is the other thing you can do is if you tip it up a little bit, you can get just that one berry. Perfect. But I now have a lot of red. So I'm going to grab this. You can see this is what I was using when I was practicing for you guys because it's got a lot of red on it too. Put that right there. All right, I'm almost done. I'm going to have to get those, but I need this paper to do that. All right, so anyway, if you're interested in dates, Stampin' Up! Is starting their new catalog on January 5th. That is when Celebration is going to start. For those of you that have been around for a while, Celebration is the promotion that Stampin' Up! Always has in the new year. It's a little different this year, though. It's only going through January and February. It's not going into March, but it's going to come back around in July. And they told us that the product offering will be different, as in, I think not only in what they're offering, but how they're offering it, but it will be considered Celebration. So I think it's going to be like, well, if you spend $50, you get X, but I just have a feeling that what you get is just going to be different stuff. And it might actually be, rumor has it, we'll just go with it. It might actually be current product or just retired product, which would time out right for the way the new catalog cycle is going. So that has potential. So it could be stuff that just retired or is low in inventory. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm fairly confident there's going to be some new stuff, but not in July, but I don't think it's going to be the abundance that we're about to have. And I have to say the Celebration selections in January and February are really good. A lot of paper this year, very different for Stampin' Up. Way more designer series paper options than I've seen in the past. Kathy said that you guys ate in the driveway under the carport and had some friends from New York. That's awesome. It's fun. I know I was talking to friends that live down here for 6 months and they're up in Ohio right now. And they, their whole family was in the garage because they were up in Ohio, but that was a way for them to all be together. So I think we're just doing what works. I mean, that's all we can really do right now. All right. And yes, well, we were with our kids a week before Thanksgiving. We went out to California the 17th, the 21st. And then we came home because they had to work Thanksgiving weekend. And it meant we weren't going to have as much time with them if we had waited until Thanksgiving to go out there. So we did get to see them quite a bit while we were out there. California is very shut down, so there wasn't a lot to do, but the whole point was to see the kids, and we definitely got to do that. So that was really wonderful. But then we just had Thanksgiving here with, like I said, Bruce's dad and his sister and her husband. And the kids, Taryn actually worked on on Thanksgiving Day, and Jay went to a coworker's place, and they had Thanksgiving. Everybody it was like a Friendsgiving. Everybody brought something, and then they just kind of made it work. All right, so hang on. It's a little easier to see on this one, and we're doing these two. So you actually cut away a fair amount of this. because of the way the top is, that it's that single flap. And you'll see what I mean, that we're going to use a lot of punches to finish this thing off. So you actually cut this whole portion away, and then you also cut this portion away. And then we're going to corner round the top. We're going to do that next, because we're going to put the whole box together. All right, so we've done all the cutting away for the, oh, no, I'm looking at this going, oh, that doesn't seem right. Okay, nope, I missed one. Okay, now we've done all the cutting away. We just need, I do believe, yeah, we need this to be a flap. And we need this to be a flap. Okay, and then this is going to get tucked in. So I'm just going to snip off the corners here just so it tucks easier. And then the rest of it is going to stay the way it is. We're going to corner round, though, these two just to finish off so it's got that nice nice edge. So I'm bringing in my corner rounder. This is that triple punch that also makes kind of a fancy fleur-de-lis, or not really, like a flower corner. And it also punches a hole if you are using some sort of a tag punch that doesn't have a hole for the top. It's a ribbon hole. And a substantial one too, and it's an oval, so it really is kind of a fun one to use. All right, so let's get that gone. All right, so now we have the basics of the box. So the way it's going to go together, now I'm going to fold all these guys because we got that to work. And remember, I'm going to go back and fill in the berries that end up on the front panel. So, but what we're going to do is, this is the front because this is the way it's coming over. So this is going to be my front panel. And that means that my adhesive is going to go here, but it's going to go on the stamped side so that this can come around. And that way I don't have a seam on the front of my box. So that's really important that you put the adhesive in the right spot. So for this box, the adhesive goes on the stamped side. And I'm just going to put it in the middle. For this box, I'm only using adhesive on this one spot because both the top and the bottom have ways to go together that's pretty sturdy. The bottom, because it's just tags in here, I'm not worried about them falling out. They don't have a lot of weight to them. And the top I'm going to do a magnet closure to it. So both are going to be just fine. They're going to stay. All right, hang on. I want to make sure that I get my bone folder real quick. Get this one nice and tight. There we go. So this way it lays nice, which means I can flap this in, and now it's going to be a really good corner. All right, we can do that. Sorry if that was loud. These two are good. We're going to just flip the box the other way and burnish these. All right. So now we can assemble the box, and then I'm going to show you how to do the magnet. The other thing I added to the inspiration sheet, the instruction sheet, whatever you want to call it, is I added a link to get these disc magnets if you don't have them. They're not that expensive. You get a lot. Of course, it's from Amazon, and I've had mine for a long time because it comes in a pretty good sized box, and it's less than $10. All right, that seems like it needs to be trimmed a little bit more to tuck nice. My advice to you when you're doing this is to do the bottom of the box the way I'm doing it. Trim it away a little bit at a time. Don't miter this too much because you can always take off. You can't put back. So we're just going to take a little more off, and this should, yeah, now it tucks in really nice. I want it to be a tight tuck. That's why I'm not worried about putting adhesive, because it's a nice tight close. And now we're going to deal with the magnets up here, and then we'll decorate. So let me grab my magnets. So when you use the magnets, I like to use glue dots. I like to double up my glue dots. So what I do for this one is I grab 2 magnets. These guys are pretty strong. So I've got 2 now. And I'm going to put them right there. And put these away. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so these are going to go together. I always have to think about this because I want to hide one in here. So I'm going to, yeah. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the outside. Of each of these. And I'm going to double them up. Could have done two at once, just wasn't thinking. Thinking more about putting it together. Okay. And then what I want to do is for the first one, I want it to be about here, just a little higher than that, because I want it to be, obviously it needs to be under the flap, but I want it to be pretty low on the flap. So I want it to be about here. So I'm going to put it in about there. Now I'm pulling my one. Oh, wait, that's the wrong way. I did this before, but I bet it's the other side. All right. That's right. Sorry. The nice thing is the blue dots do come right off, except for when you're on video and then they fight you. Okay, there we go. All right, so this one is right there. That's where that one is. So now I'm going to, yeah. So now I'm going to glue dot this side. I should have just done one, right? Make sure, yes. So I'm glue dotting this side. So now that one is tucked in and hidden away. I'm going to set that right there. Put this here. And just kind of push a little bit because I've got the two. Yep, it comes right up. And now it's going to close. It's even got that cool little click. Ha! All right, so there we go. Now let's finish off the box by putting our trimming poppy buttons or dots, whatever you want to call them, on there. So what I did is where the single ones were, I used the larger poppy, and then I used the small ones for the triple pieces. Of course, you can do this however you want. The other thing you'll notice is we've got kind of an open area here. So that is where I'm going to put the tags. Because I still have to put the to from tag on here. Or, sorry, never mind. That works on the tag itself. That open area can get covered up with the joy if I want to. All right, so this is a small one. Not sure why that one's there. Oh, because it's at the bottom. Okay. 1, 2. All right, so like I said, thank you very much for supporting my class that I had on sale over the weekend. I am not going to continue the 7 sketches class for next year, but I do have something fun up my sleeve that I'm going to preview next week. So we're actually going to do a workshop that's kind of like the class I'm going to offer starting in the beginning of the year, just to get you guys used to the way that's going to work. Oh, I'm going to run out. I had a feeling this might happen. All right, so let's see what I can do. I think I'm going to steal the small one from the bottom. This is when we get crafty, no pun intended. I'm going to steal this one. So there I have all those, and we'll put a big one down here. We're just going to make it kind of a little bit off. But these holly berries are pretty random anyway. There we go. All right. So now we have that. And then I already die cut the joy. And I think because I do have some open real estate here, I need to stamp my sending, but I'm going to put my joy together first. So all I did is I ran this joy through the Big Shot with the adhesive sheet on the back of the Poppy cardstock, and that made it so that I could peel the release paper off, and this is good and sticky on the back side of the red joy, and there we go. It's right there. All right, so I think what I'm going to do on this one, because there is a lot of real estate here, I think the joy is going to go down here, and I'm going to do sending centered up there. That's what's so cool about this. You can move stuff around. So I'm going to take my Poppy that I didn't put, that I left under here, and make my sending. But we're going to put that towards we're going to put it right in the middle of the box. All right. So how is everybody coming on their holiday cards? Are they in the mail? Are they getting stamps put on them? Is your dining room table still full of supplies and you're making your way through? Because after all, it's only December 2nd. What are you thinking? And tell me what you think about this box too. Are you thinking that this is something you're going to make and create? And can you think of people that would be thrilled to get it? I'm putting glue dots on the back of the sending. The sending sentiment comes from the Bright and Joy stamp set, just like the dies here come in the bundle. All right, so we're going to put that right in the middle. There we are, sending joy. All of the above. So that means that you have stamps, Michelle. Oh, all of the above. You're going to make the box and your holiday cards are in process. And there is maybe a mess around the house. Love the box. I'm so glad. Me too. All right, wait, we're going to need this, so I'm going to leave it out. All right, so now we have our box. Now we need to fill it with tags. Those go really fast. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually create the tag with the tag topper punch. These are 2 inches, which means they go on the widest level. Remember, you can do a 2 inch, a 1 3/4, or a 1.5 inch tag. So I'm just going to slide this all the way in, punch down, and I'm good. Oh, I didn't glue this on. That's why it fell off. I was looking at that like, why did that fall off? But we'll get to it. Let's do our tags, and then we'll glue everything at once. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like I said, you might be able to do 6 if you don't add the extra tag on the top with the 2 in the from. But I just needed that because I figured you needed some space to write the 2 in the from. It was hard to make the holly do what I wanted it to do. All right. So we had a little bit left over. I actually think I have to look behind me and get a little more Sahara sand scrap than I have. Your favorite tag punch. This one, the one I'm using now, which is the Essential Tag Punch. This one is in the holiday one. Fun box. Thanks, Sue. I take that as a very high compliment. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Created that one myself. All right, here's some more scrap because we need 2 more of those. Oh, goodness. That's not good. Olive ribbon near an open red ink pad. All right. 3 and 4. There we go. All right. Scrap to save. Punch away. Sorry for the arm on the camera. There we go. All right, now let's make these guys. So we're going to bring in our scrap paper again that we were stamping on. This is the smaller grid paper that you can get with the Stamparatus. And I'm going to do my to from in olive. And then we're going to do one of the first techniques I ever learned. And back when I started stamping in in 2000. That's when I started stamping. Actually 99, now that I think about it. I signed up to be a demonstrator in 2000. And I'll really date myself. If you've been around Stampin' Up! For a long time, there used to have these books called portfolio books, and they were like big idea books. Because remember, back when I signed up, the internet there was no such thing as Pinterest. And so there were a lot of samples you could find anywhere. So those portfolio boxes were packed full of ideas, and that was the gift if you signed up when I happened to pay for my starter kit. So that's how long ago it was. But I was starting to say, sponging around the edges, every single layer. When I first started, sponging was everything, and everybody sponged every layer. It didn't matter what color it was, didn't matter how dark it was. It seemed, at least in my neck of the woods, that everything got sponged. Let's see. Sue says she has some holiday cards done, but plan on making more. I get that. So I went through and tallied up all the cards I've made, and I'm close, but not quite. So I have some more cards that I have to create this weekend, but I'm going to make them quick and easy, and that way. And we finished off our holiday letter Bruce and I did yesterday, so we're getting very close to being able to do this. All right, this time I'm going to use the bigger holly swag. I'm still going to ink it up in olive, and then we'll bring in the berries, and they're going to be all stamped. But I'm just going to do one. This one kind of just covers it well like this, and then if I put the tag over to the right, then it just seemed to work really well. I think my olive ink pad needs a little more ink, so yours will not be this light when you do it. I started stamping in the 90s. We used sponges, but stipple brushes. Oh, yes, I remember stipple brushes too. There were a lot of things we did with those, and then they just kind of disappeared. Which I don't know why, because all the things we did were cool and you still could do them, but they just aren't something that seems to get used a lot anymore. It's those blending brushes that everybody uses now, which, speaking of, Stampin' Up! Is going to have their own blending brushes in the upcoming catalog. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to try them because there's so many on the market, and I know that they are not created by Stampin' Up. That's a third party. So I'm really hoping that they're super awesome, and I'm looking forward to using them. All right, so I'm shifting around here. We're going to get our red ink opened up. I forgot I needed to do that. And we're going to get our hollies done. All right, so again, I've really thought, I wonder if anybody that's watching has this stamp set. I'm curious if you've thought about cutting up this stamp. I'm actually considering using this holly stamp set as the one I'm going to use this weekend to just crank out some cards, because I think it's really an easy one for mass production. But I'm thinking of cutting up this stamp and just having like the 1 dot as a little tiny dot, and then the 3 as a separate one. I just think it would be easier. I'm curious if anybody has this, if they've broken up this stamp, how did it go? I really think I want to do that. Because you can always, put it back together. It's not hard. Not like physically reassemble it, but you can always put it back on the acrylic block. Okay, that one just doesn't want to go. Not sure why, but we're going to use our just stamp 1 trick. All right, so these 2 are done. So 2 aside. And 2 more. All right. Another thing I found is I need to give you guys a big shout out. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight, because I guess Wednesday is really popular for this kind of a thing. I found you guys have a lot of options, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me live. So what we're going to do going forward is, for those of you that stick around to the end, not tonight because I didn't announce it, I wanted a chance to tell you what was going to happen. I am going to do live drawings at the end of my live. So if you're here and you're making comments, I'm going to spin the comment picker, and I will announce who's winning what right during the end of this live presentation. And what that means is, if you're here and you can say yay for me, then I will pop your gift in the mail, or your door prize in the mail, on Thursday, and it'll be off to you. If you're not here to see a yay me, we'll go on to the next person. So it's going to mean that you need to stick around, which is cool. Oh, I'm glad you got your pearls. But I don't want to make you stick around forever. So I'm going to try really hard to keep these to more like a half hour to 45-minute thing, which it looks like we're going to make tonight. Because all I have to do is put these little tags together. We need to get our joy on the box and then do the ribbon, which goes really fast. So I am going to aim for a 35-minute workshop. We are going to starting right at 7 o'clock. So make sure you're ready to hit go. And I'm even going to try maybe to find a countdown thing, so I can get started earlier, but you don't have to see me moving things around. Oh, you got and I got your thank you note, Sue. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That was sweet. Definitely not necessarily, but totally appreciated. All right. These will look cooler once they get their ribbon on them too. Thanks, Kathy. I appreciated that you're okay with me going longer. All right. Yeah, tonight isn't as good of a TV night for me as Tuesday and Thursday. So that's actually, to be blatantly honest, that is where I ended up on Wednesday. It was just a good night for Bruce and I, and no football. Although there was football tonight. Isn't that crazy? That's how crazy 2020 is. There was actually an NFL game tonight. This was the longest week of football ever. Let's see. I see that you commented, Sue. I'm going to read it in just a second. I'm just trimming some ribbon here. I'm trimming more than you need. I'm just wanting to get done and not try and be super conservative on this. So I'm doing what I call a luggage tag fold on these, where the loop comes from the back to the front. So I folded the ribbon in half. The loop comes from the back to the front, and then you put the ends through the loop. And you do it way more elegantly than I just did. Did I get both? Yes, I did. Okay, there we go. All right, but then when you pull up, look at that. I love this ribbon. I love the gold. It's just so pretty. This is from the All the Trimmings combo pack. So you actually get a spool of poppy and a spool of the olive when you purchase this. They both come together. And it's 1/8 inch ribbon, which is just a perfect length to add to a tag. I am going to trim these off, and then I'll show you my secret for putting the tags in the box. Because if you've thought ahead to this, with these on, it could be a little difficult to get everything smushed in there, but there's a really easy way to do it, and it works every time. So stay tuned for how you put these in the box. And then the last thing we're going to do is put the joy on the box, or in the box. We'll put the tags in, which puts joy in the box, and then we'll put the joy dies on the box. All right. Let's see. Must be a left-handed thing, because when I do the loop, oh, really? That's interesting. Huh. I don't know. I mean, I put it through. I'm also looping them over the top and then through, which I guess you'd have to. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how left versus right plays into this. Be interesting to see. Or maybe you don't feed yours back to front. I think if I fed it front to back, it would come out different. But I like having the latch there instead of the front loop. I like the double piece there. That's just personal, totally personal preference. I don't think there is a right or wrong. So I'm going to stack these red, green, red, green. And when you put them in the box, let's put this on first. I'm just going to take some glue dots towards the top and maybe one here. The nice thing is where the olive cardstock is, it does get a little thicker. The O has lots of geography. See, there's plenty of space on the O. The bottom of the Y is good. And the top right side of the Y is pretty thick, which is more than enough to get this to stay down. So there we go. There's our joy. Okay, so the way you get the tags to go in is you open up the box with our magnet closure and you kind of flip them this way so the tag or the ribbon flips, and then you just tuck them in and then they stay nice and neat. So there you go. That's our little box of tags. Let me get this out of the way. And thank you very much for hanging out with me for a little bit of time on your Wednesday evening. I will be back next week on Wednesday. We are going to do some all occasion cards. I know it's still the holidays, but it's time to get ready for resolutions where we're going to keep up with everybody's birthday and all that good stuff. And I want to get you started to do that. So we'll have a fun project along with a couple of cards. And I will see you next Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern time for another Wednesday workshop. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot, Sue. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kathy. You guys have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. If you like this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you know when I post my new videos.